chúng tôi đang ở trước phòng họp của thành phố Westminster để tường thuật trực tiếp cái buổi họp của hội đồng thành phố liên quan đến vụ là nghị viên tài đỗ post những cái message ở trên Facebook có liên quan đến chuyện là nghị viên tài đỗ đã post cái nội dung là ông nói là Westminster City officially là thành phố Hồ Chí Minh. Thưa quý vị,
Nguyễn Văn Lý thì bây giờ được thay bằng cái hình là thị trưởng Chí Tạ bịt miệng ông Tài Đỗ. Bây giờ chúng tôi sẽ nói chuyện với hai vị đang cầm ở đây để hỏi một chút xíu cái ý kiến của họ về cái lý do có ý kiến này. Và ở dưới cũng đề là tự do ngôn luận tại Westminster chấm than. Could you tell us the reason why you have that banner?
Well, it's not my banner. This lovely lady made the banner. Today, basically, the three council members, Kimberly Ho, and Charlie Wynn, are basically trying to gag the other two council members so that they cannot speak for the residents. We voted for Tito, we voted for Sergio Gutierrez, and they're trying to make it so that part of Westminster cannot be heard. It's completely ridiculous. It's against the law. It's against so many. I mean, we have people that are going to be talking in there, bringing Superior Court cases to their public comments. It's ridiculous, and they're saying that Tito has started, stirring the pot and putting all this information out there, but he's not. The residents here are the ones that are putting the info out there, and he's saying this is what the residents are saying. And the residents, like this lovely lady, have been saying that basically Triton and the other two council members are turning this into a communist city. The first in the U.S.
Let me translate a little bit. Bà này nói rằng là cái banner này là của người bạn và bên kia làm ra, và bà nói rằng là họ tới đây ở đây vì họ là những người bầu cho ông Tài Đỗ và ông Sergio, nhưng mà ba nghị viên kia, hai nghị viên kia cùng với lại thị trưởng Chí Tạ, và hai nghị viên là bà phó thị trưởng Kimberly Hồ và ông Charlie Wynn đã tìm cách bóp miệng không có cho ông Tài Đỗ nói. Và ngày hôm nay họ xuất hiện ở đây rất là nhiều, mang theo những cái hồ sơ, kể cả những cái hồ sơ về tự do ngôn luận ở Mỹ để mà tới đây trình bày. Bà cho rằng đây cái chuyện này là cái chuyện phạm luật pháp, và đây là một cái lần đầu tiên mới thấy một cái chuyện mà gọi là xảy ra ở Mỹ, là một thành phố Mỹ đưa tới cái tình trạng như thế này. Và bà cũng nói rằng là họ, tức là những người nghị viên trong nhóm đa số, nói rằng ông Tài Đỗ đưa ra những điều này, nhưng thực ra đối với bà cho biết rằng là đó là những người dân đưa ra, mà ông Tài Đỗ ngược lại. Bây giờ chúng ta sẽ hỏi cái người Việt Nam. Thưa chị cho biết là chị là người tác giả của cái này thì sao thưa chị?
Đó nhận mấy cái họ cho bằng khen cho mình cầm, xong rồi họ làm ra những luật lệ đối với thị sư tính bạn cả gia đình để chạy hỏi
Nhưng mà theo bà thì cái hình này nó có đúng hay là sai, là nó có đáng với cái thực trạng thực tế ở thành phố Westminster không ạ? Bà nói rõ hơn thì sao?
Thì tại vì tôi bầu cho những người đó để người ta đại diện cho người dân, mà mấy người đó không được quyền đó thì cũng giống như ở bên Việt Nam bị được người ta thôi.
Có một cái câu hỏi mà chúng tôi có ghi nhận được trong hai ngày hôm nay, đó là cái dòng viết của nghị viên Tài Đỗ ở trên cái trang của ông ấy, rằng là thành phố Westminster giờ đây chính thức là thành phố Hồ Chí Minh. Sau đó ông có sửa lại một chút là thành phố Westminster giờ đây chính thức là thành phố Hồ Chí Minh, được đưa tới bởi ba người là ông Chí Tạ, bà cho Kimberly Hồ và ông Charlie Wynn. Có người phản đối nói rằng là ông Tài Đỗ tại sao lại biến cái thành phố Westminster là thành phố Hồ Chí Minh theo cách hiểu của họ. Bạn nghĩ sao?
Tôi nghĩ là lúc mà ông viết cái câu đó ông không có suy nghĩ nhiều,
không biết là những người ngồi nhà họ cũng biết để là họ có thể diễn giải theo ý kiến của họ.
Theo chị ông là một cái nghị viên, nếu mà một người bình thường thì có thể viết như vậy, nhưng mà là một người nghị viên, là một người được officially là được dân bầu lên, thì ông có thể là nói một cái cách mà không có suy nghĩ như vậy không chị?
Tôi nghĩ ai cũng có sơ sót đó. Có thể ông nói là ông nghĩ lúc đó là ông đập cho ông trong cái tâm trạng một người ngồi trong buổi họp đó, bị người ta bịt miệng, thì ông đó ông không nghĩ, nhưng mà cái đó những người ngồi nhà họ có thể nghĩ theo ý họ.
Nhưng mà thưa
Cảm ơn bà.
bây giờ cái đó là
bây giờ là
có nên hay không
sắp sửa
nói
nói.
Trong tương lai tôi nghĩ ông nên cân nhắc, chẳng có gì lạ, ai cũng có thể làm viết hoặc nói, thì có thể có những cái
Dạ vâng, dạ, xin thưa quý danh của chị. Dạ, cảm ơn chị.
Hold it. I can't claim this one. This one's illegally dated. Within 24 hours. I need to know where you got it done.
A little Saigon.
A little. Okay. I was gonna say. I'm glad you came today, though. I'm glad both of you are here today. You got it.
Okay, I got it. Thank you so much.
Đúng rồi. Dạ đúng rồi. Khi mà phải làm cái giấy tờ của chị thì em anh lập cái giấy tờ xong rồi gia đình muốn làm thì gia đình đây là anh thôi nhá.
Hey David, how are you?
Oh.
Oh, Marjorie.
Và xin thưa với lại quý vị là hiện nay chúng ta đang ở trong phòng họp của Hội đồng thành phố Westminster và mọi người đang chuẩn bị cho cuộc họp. Rồi. Và quý vị có thể thấy là hiện giờ là ở phía bên đằng xa là ông Ngô Kỷ, thưa quý vị. Ông Ngô Kỷ đang phỏng vấn những người cư dân Westminster đang đi họp. Và đây là ông Trần Nhật Phong của đài Trần Nhật Phong.
Đặt cái chữ mà Westminster is officially now Hồ Chí Minh City, tức là Westminster now là chính thức là thành phố Hồ Chí Minh.
Và đây là ông
tiếng nó cả
kinh doanh.
ai đưa ra cái đó,
Cảm ơn.
cái đó ai đưa ra cái đó.
Cái đó hình như là anh Trần Nhật Phong.
Không, anh nói gì kỳ vậy? Trong này nè.
Trong này thì nói về vấn đề tài độ, tôi xin lỗi, nhưng mà cái
Bản này là ai viết cái này?
ai viết cái này? Tài độ Westminster City Council.
Là có phải ý ông nói là cái này từ con tài độ phải không ạ? Ông tài độ đưa ra cái website.
Vâng, đúng rồi, vâng. Tôi xin lỗi, tôi không biết trong cái năm vừa. Vâng, tôi xin lỗi.
Vâng, chúng tôi thấy các ký giả là qua cũng có mặt hôm nay.
có ý kiến gì về
đó mẹ để mình biết trong khi đây là cái
Trust me there.
mới là làm bên
Quang là bạn có lý do
đó chủ là
không là nó Quang luôn, nó Quang làm cho cái
logo luôn, TV luôn.
Có gì chưa bị channel. Thưa quý vị, hiện nay là một cái phiên họp bất ngờ vào những cái giờ đi làm, nhưng mà mọi người, cư dân của thành phố Westminster đi dự họp đông hơn thường lệ, là tại vì đây là một cái phiên họp có cái tính chất rất là quan trọng. Và đa số những cái gương mặt đấu tranh và các cơ quan truyền thông báo chí ở địa phương đều có mặt. Và chúng ta có thể thấy là bà cựu thị trưởng của thành phố Westminster là bà Maggie Rice cũng tham gia cuộc họp bữa nay.
Good afternoon. I'd like to call the meeting to order. Right now, 1:05 p.m. Wednesday, June 19, 2019. Councilman Doe, Councilman Nguyen, and Mayor present. Salute to the flag of the city attorney. Thank you, City Attorney. Next, we have the report from City Clerk.
Yes, thank you, Mayor and City Council. Staff received a late communication. We have copies of those available. We have received an email from Deborah Marisol.
Thank you so much. We appreciate that. Next, we have oral communication.
Yes, before I begin, I would like to introduce our translator for today. So she'll repeat my portion.
All right.
This is the time of the meeting that members of the public may address the city council regarding items on the agenda unless otherwise extended by a majority vote of the city council. Comment shall be limited to 5 minutes per speaker. Any person wishing to address the city council should complete a green speaker slip and submit the card to the city clerk. When your name is called, please step to the podium at that time and state your name and city of residence for the record.
Đây là thời điểm của các cộng đồng, các thành viên của thành phố có thể đến bàn thảo với các nghị viên về những cái vấn đề được liệt kê trong lịch trình ngày hôm nay. Trừ khi được cho phép và theo cái sự bầu cử của các nghị viên thì những lời thông báo những cái lời bàn thảo có thể được phải giới hạn trong vòng 5 phút cho từng người có thể lên đọc hoặc là bàn thảo. Nếu những người nào cần có thêm mà nói chuyện trực tiếp hoặc là bàn thảo với các nghị viên của thành phố, xin hoàn tất một cái thẻ học sinh bắt tên và nộp lên cho quý vị của thành phố. Khi mà tên của quý vị được gọi thì xin bước lên trên bục có microphone tại thời điểm được gọi tên và xin thông báo cho buổi họp tên của quý vị, thành phố quý vị đang ở để được ghi tên ghi bản.
Right, so how many speakers we have?
I currently have 16 speakers.
Okay.
I'm sorry, can I put my name on?
So our first speaker
Okay.
is Phong Tran.
All right.
Thank you. My name is Phong Chan. I'm a president of Westminster June for the comment of the
Và đây là ông nhà báo Trần Nhật Phong.
about he want to change the name of Westminster City to Ho Chi Minh City. This I know this is a couple of months ago he worked in City Burke. His comment he want to change the name City Westminster to Depot Ho Chi Minh City. That's his idea, or I don't know, the whole the city council member idea. But you broke the communist, that's your problem. You love Ho Chi Minh people, that's your problem, or your business. And do not bring it here to associate with them, that's your problem. And do not bring it here to our city here, Westminster. Because in here, we have a Vietnamese American, the anti-communist community. So we don't want that shame of them like your stupid idea to change the name of our Westminster City. So I demand if that's your officially comment on the social media, I demand you a public apologize and resign because you're not qualified for the city council member on this city Westminster. But also I have a comment with my mayor, Tita. I know the people in this room and the city Westminster very disappointed about the comment of the city council title in the social media. We want to change the name from City Westminster to Ho Chi Minh City. I know everybody that, but you can rebuild him, or you can rebuild him. You can talk to him. But I disagree if you make any move about the solution for the censor or the any rule to censor his comment, because this is we against our value, American value, the freedom of speech and the First Amendment in our Constitution. So I disagree with that. But I still demand, on behalf of the city of Westminster, I demand you ask your member to make a public apology for this comment. That's it. Thank you.
Các quý vị có thể thấy đây là những cái banner, những cái khẩu hiệu mà ông nghị viên Tài Đỗ đã viết ở trên trang web, trang Facebook của ông ta.
Hello, thank you very much for this opportunity to speak. As a commissioner for one of our commissions, this is only my personal opinion. My personal opinion is coming from the speaker before.
Còn đây là ông David Johnson, một gương mặt quen thuộc, hay đi lên đứng lên phát biểu, thưa quý vị.
That was unjust in saying that how he feels about actions based on the vote of the last one. I did attend AB 1234 training, which is an assembly bill that is now law, conflict of interests and things like that. And in that, our city attorney's office had a representative and attorney from their office give us training. And in that training, she says, yes, social media is a little bit sticky. It's kind of a hard place to show judgment because it's subjective and there's lines of gray. And what she suggested is this, that there is freedom of speech even for our elected officials. And if they have their own personal page, like a Facebook page, they can express their own opinions. Talks about treating each other fairly and kindly and things like that.
Sorry quý vị, vừa mới bị mất signal.
Brown Act is applicable, meetings like this is, for example. And because, in my personal opinion, that we accepted the one-page watered-down version, that explanation of detail was not there. If you go back to the 12-page original version that the Assistant City Attorney was here today and I helped draft, it gave parameters of what to do in meetings, meaning where the Brown Act was applicable. So I think it's quite clear with what the training that we all had. Now, you were in different training than me. It was the same training, but at a different time. You might even have a different trainer, but they all come from our attorney's office. But it's quite clear that if what is done on a personal page with personal friends, whose personal opinion, it's also quite clear that I think anybody who thinks that he's trying to rename the city, it's really a stretch, because that was definitely sarcasm. And that we need to be careful of what we say when we're in public venues where the Brown Act is applicable. I'm really hoping that you understand and accept this explanation when you're looking at reason of your comments later today, and I thank you for the time.
Xin chào, tôi tên là Buổi, Westminster. I'm really surprised that we're all sitting here today over something that happened on social media, Facebook. We are all protected through the Brown Act all the way up to the First Amendment to freedom of speech. Everybody, in fact, the First Amendment not only protects our rights to freedom of speech, but encourages freedom of speech. I voted for Mr. Tai Do. He is my leader. And he has brought voice to the voters who are concerned about the backroom dealings and politics.
Chúng ta có thể thấy là nghị viên Kimberly Độ vừa mới vô và bà mặc một cái áo dài có in hình cờ Việt Nam Cộng Hòa.
Now, as far as last week's meeting, when you basically the gang of three, who I refer to as Ho Chi Ta, basically voted to censor Mr. Doe's and Contreras and to prevent them from freely bringing ideas and issues before you. And you're tying their hands and gagging their mouths in their ability to represent the very people that voted for them. This is a waste of time. I don't think it's a city emergency to have a 24-hour notice to talk about Facebook and freedom of speech. So I think that you, the three of you, owe the citizens of Westminster the apology. Council members Doe and Contreras spoke at the last meeting to your face. If you can't handle that, if you can't handle the heat, then you're the one that needs to get out of your seat.
Next speaker is Tang Hien Tran, followed by Mary Mangold.
Good morning, Mayor and Council members. My name is Tang Hien Tran. I'm here to speak on behalf of my family living in Magnolia Villa, Mobile Park, space 56, Westminster, CA 92683. I'm speaking also on behalf of activists in the Vietnamese community here since 1990. I'm here to urge all the voters in Westminster to stand united and strong to fighting against the traitor who was abusing the vote of the Vietnamese anti-communists to get elected council members in Westminster City. Taido is causing too much trouble to this city at any council meetings. He's trying his best to badmouthing about the management of the city and especially the mayor and council members through his Facebook as well through the Vietnamese media, collaborating with Buổi and outsider. He's aiming to help the VC government to defeat all our nationalist Republican council members in Westminster City as well as in Orange County. Recently, he is posting publicly in his Facebook that Westminster City is officially now Ho Chi Minh City.
Chúng ta có thể thấy là hôm nay có sự vắng mặt của nghị viên Ninh Vietnamese là nghị viên Social Contreras vì ông cố tình chống cái chuyện này vì sau này nó có thể nó sẽ ảnh hưởng đến cái sự nghiệp chính trị của ông. Gần giống như là ông coi cái chuyện này là cái chuyện giữa người Việt Nam với nhau thôi, và ông vắng mặt, thưa quý vị.
Commenting in the Facebook that Taido is really a traitor, a betrayer, who's abusing the vote of the anti-communist Vietnamese in Westminster to get elected, and now he's betraying his voters, his community, to serve the benefit of the VC government. The Vietnamese community needs to boycott and remove him immediately. He's scheming with the outsider, Buổi, to destroy the prestige of this lovely city. Thank you for your time.
Next speaker is Mary Mangle.
Good afternoon. I see a lot of familiar faces here. Mayor Ta, you know I sat on the school board for 12 years, served as president for 7 years. Vice Mayor Ho, we met when you knocked on my door campaigning. I worked with Sergio Contreras on the school board. And I've never met Taido, but Taido, I voted for you. And I want to thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for standing up for democracy in Westminster. First off, I'm very familiar with the political procedures in the Brown Act. And what you did at the last city council meeting, where you tried to say that you need a majority of 3 to get something on the agenda. When I served as president of the school board, I was told that any member from the public could put something on the agenda. So you might have all these people from the public who now want to put something on your agenda. I think you can check with your city attorney, and I think they have the right to do that. Going on, I'm a 3rd grade teacher. I've always taught my students that our government is a government of the people, by the people, and for the people. And that's from Abraham Lincoln. My 3rd graders could tell you that. So I'm just here to remind you that you don't have the right to take freedom of speech from anyone. Furthermore, to hold this meeting at 1 in the afternoon on a 24-hour notice is just wrong on all counts. It's not transparent at all. This is the first city council meeting I've been to in a long time. What really got me here, I think it's kind of silly, but it was watching the Miss Westminster pageant that Miss Vice Mayor Ho was her shining moment. She called it a historical moment for Westminster, was that Westminster City beauty pageant. And then we had Mayor Ta giving out a commendation to an actress. And I'm driving down Westminster Boulevard and my car goes right in a pothole. And I'm like, they're putting on beauty pageants, they're giving out commendations for actresses, but they can't fix the potholes on Westminster Boulevard? There is something wrong. We have a homeless issue in our city that needs addressing. We have potholes, we have city parks that need help. There's a lot of things that need help besides you folks pulling these political ploys. As a newcomer, Taido, I know you're a police officer, I thank you for that. I thank you for having the courage to stand up for these folks. I've never met you in person. I'm here to stand up for him, and I'm here to tell you that there's a whole lot of people that are getting really angry at you trying to silence who we voted for. And this whole mix-up about Ho Chi Minh City, even I could tell that was a joke. He's the one who spoke out against that. That was sarcasm. He was the one who said the three of you are trying to turn this into a communist city council. So why on earth would he want to rename the city that? And you have some poor misled people out in the audience that thinks he really wants to change the city name, and that is not correct by any count. So Taido, again, I thank you for all these people who stand behind you and many more in the city who couldn't make it because they're working. Thank you for being brave enough to stand.
Ban này lên phát biểu ủng hộ ông Tài Đỗ.
Next speaker is Jason Mo, followed by Camilla Overby.
Good afternoon. Over 2 months, I got the press from Taido. People come after me. So I talked to my friends, police officer in Long Beach. He told me Taido is fired for 6 years already. I was very nervous. And I saw that he had advertising to run for the city council with the police officer. I think that he misleads the community. And I'm also waiting for 2 months, almost 2 months already. I don't see any doing from the city yet. So I consulted with my lawyer already, and he said, yeah. But today I found out that Taido, he officially changing the Westminster City Westminster to Ho Chi Minh City. He put on his Facebook, but his personal Facebook is no problem. But this one, Facebook with City Council of Westminster. It means he is officially in Westminster. He announced the city Westminster is Ho Chi Minh City, not a joke. So that's why I come in here, I see that Taido is not the ethical person. He is misleading community. He is working with the communists, people, to turn down the city of Westminster. I think that all the city council and mayor here have to work together, but they cannot vote for anything that is not good for the city. They want to put an article for the city. It means the article, if they vote yes for the article, code, it means like all other former city mayor and council before they have no article. So that's why I think everyone working for the city, mayor, city council, and every other job, they know how to do the job. So that's why you cannot go and talk against Cheetah, Ganho, Kimberly, and Charlie Willoughby, and you say that you not support them and you vote for them. If you do that, it means you betray them, you betray the city. You cannot work for the city. So today, I would like to call Taido to resign now. Because if the city don't do anything, I sue the city because the city cover up for Taiwan, trapping other people. It's helping me for like come after me. After the report and the first city council meeting here, I come here, when getting out there, one of the lady and with two media guy come and ask them to attack me on work. So they tried to attack me already, and also some people already come to my business and try to attack me. So that's why I see that, people around Taido is very dangerous. So I want to the city have some thing to help back Taido for investigation. Thank you.
Let me just remind the public to please respect the people that are speaking, each one as they should for you, you should for them.
Good afternoon. My name is Buổi. Nice to see you all, councilors, Mr. Dictator. Let us first start with just how absurd this meeting is. The fact that we're even discussing First Amendment rights that have already been decided at the federal level is outlandish. Mayor Todd, you effectively called for this meeting at a time when most residents are unable to attend. Are you afraid that people will speak out against your incessant need to run this town like a dictator? And since it is you that called for the meeting, and it was your responsibility to contact council members to see if they were available, how do we, the residents, know that you didn't violate the Brown Act? You have called for this meeting in an attempt to silence a council member whose views are in opposition to your own. Unless Westminster is seceded from the rest of the country, freedom of speech is protected under the First Amendment. While you may not like what is being said, you have no right to censor it. Speaking of censorship, perhaps you'd like to explain why you have a Facebook account and were using your title of Westminster Mayor. And on that page, you explicitly stated the following. Announcement from admin. This page has recently received some sparks of interest, and we thank you all for your posts and comments. However, this is still a personal page, and we reserve the right to fully filter the content of this page. Thank you, admin. And just so you see, we all printed it, because we do know you shut it down last night. I'm quite certain that the city attorney can provide you with more insight as to how this verbiage is absolutely unconstitutional and how it was decided so back in 2017 in Davidson v. Loudoun County Board of Supervisors, and it was furthermore upheld by the United States Fourth Circuit Court of Appeals in January of this year. I bring this up to make the public and other council members aware that after this page received backlash from residents last night, you effectively shut it down and silenced all of those whose opinions and views differ from yours. It's a big no-no, Mr. Mayor. By even bringing this topic to a meeting, you have shown just how irresponsible you are with taxpayer money. You are essentially trying to stifle and silence. Mr. Mayor, myself and others are here to remind you that we will not be silenced, and we will not sit idly by while you attempt to silence a council member who speaks for so many residents in this town. By attempting to censor social media posts, you are in direct opposition with SCOTUS rulings. And since we're on the topic of social media, I ask you this. Why is it acceptable for Charlie Winning to go on TV and bash Ty Doe, but if Mr. Doe speaks out against the gang of three, it's wrong? And yes, it is applicable to social media, as that video was posted to YouTube. And to the city attorney, why are you complicit in an attempt to censor anyone? You should be very much aware of the cases that were upheld and decided at the federal level. And furthermore, you should absolutely be aware that Packingham v. North Carolina was unanimously decided at the Supreme Court, and it clearly states that social media is a protected space under the First Amendment. I urge you to rethink your request for this meeting and reflect on why it is that the gang of three are so hell-bent on silencing Councilmember Doe. Perhaps it has struck a nerve with you that in such a short amount of time, he has garnered the respect of residents that you can only dream of. If that is the case, that is a personal issue and not one that taxpayer money should be wasted on. I promise you this, we will not be silenced. You will not force us into submission, and your attempts to suppress the wishes of the people at the last meeting regarding agendas, and now your attempt to censor dissenting views is futile. The residents of Westminster are fully prepared to fight your oppressive dictatorship-like rules. I'll end with the words of Justice Kennedy, who has joined in his opinion on Packing v. North Carolina by Ginsburg, Breyer, Sotomayor, and Kagan. A fundamental principle of the First Amendment is that all persons have access to places where they can speak, listen, and then after reflection, speak and listen once more. Additionally, it is well established that as a general rule, the government may not suppress lawful speech as the means to suppress unlawful speech.
Followed by Terry Reeves. Good afternoon, Jessica Lasting. I'm a resident of Westminster. Last year, I attended my first council meeting, and I won't bore you with the details of what transpired, but I realized that I should have been paying attention a long time ago. Within the last 6 months, your constituents have asked for term limits and campaign finance rules buried in an ad hoc committee. Your constituents asked for a code of ethics and conduct, denied in lieu of one and a half pages of superficial verbiage. Your constituents asked for you to reconsider appointing each other's children to create political dynasties in Westminster, and our pleas were ignored. Your constituents asked that you not silence 2 council members by redefining the process by which items are added to the agenda. That was rejected, as you now have a method for making your fellow council members, in all intents and purposes, ineffective. Now you're going too far. You're debating censoring the free speech of a council member. You're trampling on the Bill of Rights. You're debating actions that would drag this city into further economic decline. Please do not make any attempt to silence the comments of Ty Doe on social media. You may not agree with his criticisms, but he is in no way criticizing the city. This is not about council. This is not about council members. This is about council members who do not see eye to eye. This is not about a council member who's doing damage to the city. The people in this room and watching from home are too smart to fall for that strongman argument. Vice Mayor Hogue, you once said that compliments are good, and I agree. Complaints are good, and I agree. When it comes to government, average citizens need to be especially critical because the stakes are too high. If any of you try to silence your critics while lifting up your supporters, not only will you be contending with the law, you'll be branded a local government tyrant. Make no mistake, we are paying attention now.
Good afternoon, Terry Raines from Westminster. I hope that the city complied with Government Code 54956, which requires written notice to each local newspaper, radio, or television station that has requested such notice in writing, and that such notice was received at least 24 hours before the time of this meeting. I received a notification at 12:56 p.m. yesterday, just 4 minutes shy of the deadline. Also, 54952.2, which states the majority of council members of a legislative body shall not, outside a meeting authorized by this chapter, use a series of communications of any kind, directly or through intermediaries, to discuss, deliberate, or take action on any item of business that is within the subject matter jurisdiction of the legislative body. Calling a special meeting for this topic in the middle of a weekday with only 24-hour notice required, not having it televised, is an obvious ploy to silence the public on this matter and make sure as few people as possible find out about it. Silence the free speech of the opposition. Isn't that what dictators do? The U.S. Supreme Court has repeatedly ruled that even hate speech is legally protected free speech under the First Amendment. The item reads, divisive and damaging comments about the city. Don't you mean about 3 council members? Mayor Todd, why did your mayor Facebook page disappear yesterday after people took screenshots of a particular post on it? You know, The one that stated you had the right to control the content posted on it. So doesn't Councilman Doe have that same right? Seems to me the three of you are very thin-skinned politicians, and so I have a suggestion for you. If you can't stand the heat, get out of the kitchen. We would be more than happy. To help you do just that. I'm sick of the whining and even crying on this dais by you three about those that oppose you, be it other council members or the public. Your blatant attempts to silence those that oppose you only make the opposition stronger and more determined, so we thank you for that. Did you ever stop to consider that Councilman Doe's comments reflect the opinions of his constituents who voted him into office? You're voted for being an elected official. Only you can add items to the agenda without other council members agreeing. Vice Mayor Ho stated that Garden Grove has the exact same policy. No, they do not. Their resolution requires the mayor following and other council members to put items on the action agenda, and any council member can go directly to staff and put an item for discussion on the agenda. You call a special meeting with your own personal recommendations of what should be done to shut down those that oppose you and your actions. Other cities call special meetings for particular items that need focused attention and time related to general city business. Many, if not most, of the cities the size of Westminster do not elect a mayor, but rather rotate the position internally every year, which prevents any one person from reshaping the city to further their own personal agenda and political aspirations. So, first you attempt to silence Councilman Doe with your agenda policy. Then you want to censor his social media account. What's next? Buy his house? Record his phone calls? So hold their bond. Shame on you.
Our next speaker is Kim Nguyen, followed by Richard Jolly.
Good afternoon. My name is Kim Nguyen. I live in Westminster City. I'm here to support Councilman Taijo. Another the right to speak. I am supporting him because he is representing us. He is our voice, the voice of a minority group in the city. When saying the minority, I mean the vote 3-2 cast in the previous council meeting indicates 3 is a majority and 2 is a minority. Yeah. So ratio 3-2 to approve for an item to be on the city agenda is obviously unfair and unconstitutional for not allowing and the concern of a minority to be heard and discussed in public in the city of Westminster. I brought here with me my son. He's a younger generation. To listen, for him to understand why his parents have risked their life to come to live in this country, the land of freedom. Therefore, I humbly requesting the city to honor the First Amendment, freedom to speech, by allowing the voice of minority to be heard openly and publicly. Thank you all, and may God bless us all with the wisdom and peace in the city to run the business. Thank you.
Good afternoon, City Council members. My name is Richard Jolly, and I've lived in the city for the last 44 years. I am also a Vietnam vet. For
For the past 5.5 years, I have served as a volunteer for the city. Served on the General Plan Advisory Committee, the GPAC we called it, which is now called the Economic Development Action Task Force, which I still serve. I served as a Community Recreation Commissioner, and I now serve as a Commissioner on the Commission for Aging. I am also a volunteer for the Westminster High School. I do the senior to senior program, and I have done the exit interviews for the last 2 years. The city council needs to focus on city items instead of all this bickering. I could not attend the last city council meeting due to some family situations, but I watched every minute of it on TV. It was an embarrassment for the city, what happened. The city needs to change the way it fills its appointments to the various commissions. That's part of the stuff, why we're here today, not just the ethics. They need some kind of interview process, not just pick your buddy. I experienced that when I was appointed to the Community and Parks or Recreation Committee. I submitted my application. I was never called. Nobody attempted to get a hold of me. So I came to the city council meeting the night they were making the selections. I stood up and I asked why I wasn't given an interview. Nobody had an answer. But I embarrassed you so much, or not you, that city council, that you appointed me that night. I was appointed by a city council member that didn't know me. I had never met him, and he had never met me. But I guess I embarrassed you folks so much that you appointed me. And that started my career as a volunteer. That's not the way it should be done. How many of you own a business? How many of you are going to hire somebody without an interview? Would you? If our city manager left, you tell me you're just going to appoint somebody and not interview them? That's BS. And you know it. This is the kind of turmoil, things that create such a turmoil in our city right now. And it needs to stop. Today's meeting shouldn't be happening. This crap needs to stop. If you think censuring Councilman Doe is going to stop this, you're incorrect. This is just going to put more fuel on the fire. So, if this continues, I will stop volunteering for this city. Because I don't want to be part of this. I will resign from all my commissions, and I will not serve the city any longer. I can't. This city is becoming too dysfunctional. Thank you.
Next speaker is Carlos Manzo, followed by Ricky.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. I don't even know where to begin. I'm so upset at what's been going on these last few months, or actually the last few years, you know. Mayor, you know who I am. I met you, I think, prior to 2012. Back then when I met you, you seemed to be a good person, you had good support. The people that I knew supported you, and I voted for you. And the time that I ran into you, you know I used to run into you around the city. We had good conversations, and I was really happy. So this guy seems like a good person, pretty good. And you said these words in your inauguration. You correct me if I'm wrong. You said that you were going to be a mayor for all of Westminster. Is that not right? And your actions in the past, up to this point, has proven that to be not the case. Okay? People build their reputation over the years. I worked really hard, and I'm sure everybody around you, they build their reputation by how they carry themselves. They carry some honor and respect for others, with integrity, and time passes by and people say, hey, that's a good guy. I like that guy. And whatever everybody thinks about you, it wasn't Mr. Doe's doing. That was you built your own reputation by your own actions. It wasn't how you made it to somehow find ways to control the power that you have. You ran against the 1 cent sales tax that was supposed to help the police department, which I support because I think that's one of the most important things that we have in our police department. You ran against him, you want to let us vote on it. And then once it passed, instead of making sure that the police department has their proper money, you go and spend it on pushing elections through so you can control the power even more. Instead of waiting for the general election and saving our city taxpayer money. That's irresponsible, and that's just you trying to control power for yourself. That's not right. And then what you guys did last meeting, you just continuing to build your reputation of, if you're not a mayor for all, you're a mayor for yourself. And then having this meeting today is even more proof that you're building your reputation to be your agenda only, not the city's agenda. Not the city, you don't care about the city residents. If you cared about city residents, you would have had this meeting, if you really wanted to have a meeting, you would have had this meeting at 6:30, 7 o'clock, so people could attend. I had to leave work early, and I'm losing pay being here, because I want to come over here and tell you what I think. That's not being responsible. That's not caring about the residents. It's caring about yourself. As far as the whole social media thing is childish. This is the First Amendment. Just because you don't like what somebody's saying about it, you can control that yourself by carrying yourself with honesty and integrity. Then people wouldn't be upset with you. It's not Mr. Doe's doing, it's your own doing. People think what they think because of your actions, not somebody else's actions. We're all responsible for our own actions. And as far as what I've been hearing, I never met Mr. Doe, Councilman Doe, but from what I understand, he knew, he ran that there was a bad fight going on with the city where it was ran and with all the lawsuits and everything. So he decided, hey, let's do something about it. Let's clean up our image with the residents. Let's implement ethics code. What's wrong with that? It's so simple. I mean, if you carry yourself with honesty and integrity, what's so hard about it? But you guys chose to make it hard. All this drama is not caused by Mr. Doe. You could have very easily passed this code of ethics. It's not hard. I've taken it 3 times. It's not hard at all. If you have integrity and you're honest, what's so hard about it? Nothing. You guys could have avoided all this drama by saying, hey, yeah, I promise to the residents of Westminster that I'm going to carry myself with honesty. Thank you.
My name is 27 here, resident of Westminster. And just to let you know, I just remember the last meeting, Mayor saying, we're wasting a lot of time on this stuff. We need to get issues done in the city. Anyway, I have sent 2 of you emails on some agendas I'd like to see, like homelessness. Why haven't we had a special meeting like this to address that? That is severe in our city. Anyway, that's a separate issue. In the meantime, I hope you guys see
I voted for you, Tom. And being that we're same political party, I'd probably vote for you again only because I want to stick with my party. But this has nothing to do even with that. This is about integrity, morals, conduct. I don't care if you're independent or whatever, party. I hope you can see your actions. It's not just this trying to suppress the First Amendment. It started out with the tax thing. I wrote in on that, how when the treasurer at the time, I went to her because a lot of the Asian businesses aren't doing their taxes because they're doing horse trading and cash deals. I went to the treasurer. She said, yes, we don't go after our own kind. Within 6 months, we had an increase in I wrote to you about this. We had an increase in our tax. So what's responsible ones are doing? So right there. Then, like he said, you get the money from supposed to go to the police. There's a special election. Okay, so that money, so that's more money that we have to put out. And then you get into office, and now I see them following you like their mama chick. Whatever you say these two do, I mean, in my personal opinion, I don't think they could find themselves out of a paper bag. I mean, they just, whatever. Even when she speaks, like she misspoke about the Garden Grove thing, that this isn't how they do it. And then I had some interaction with somebody that's supposedly having conversations with you, and she mentioned that you had addressed and did it this way because Anaheim does it this way. Well, before she finished her text, I'd already had shot out emails to the Anaheim. Anaheim got back to me. We do not, this is not how they have it set up either. So anyway, between the nepotism, like Carlos was saying, you've now limited it to only you and these three. You three can, I mean, that's basically what you've done. Can put something on the agenda, and now you're trying to suppress any opposition to that. I hope you see the whole package. This isn't just one thing. I don't know. I hope you can always back out, clean it up, and restart. I mean, you can put it back on the agenda. And that's another thing. Not wanting the ethics and the codes on it. This is probably why. This is terrible. I don't know. I'm not a good speaker. I'm a better writer. But, I just had to put my 2 cents in.
Next speaker is Tony Buổi, followed by Lan Nguyen.
Good evening, good afternoon, Mr. Mayor and City Council. I'm Tony Buổi, a resident of Westminster for 20 years. I was here because I'm concerned about the issue that they call officially now Ho Chi Minh City. The freedom of speech allows every people to express their feeling. However, as long as it's not hurt the majority of other people, so therefore, you can put in your Facebook, but you should put it, this is my own opinion, not of the Westminster officer. So this is the lesson you have to learn, Mr. Taito. Don't claim that you represent for People's City of Westminster. This one will be used by the communists in Vietnam. They spread around in Vietnam said that Westminster City is officially now Ho Chi Minh City. Do you know Ho Chi Minh City? Ho Chi Minh is a guy who had killed millions of people in Vietnam. Every time the Vietnamese heard about Ho Chi Minh, they feel disgusted. And he is similar to Hitler, to the people, to the Israel people. Okay, so you should learn from history. And months ago, you brought up the issue of corruption, inefficiency, or appointing people with being related in family. This is a good chance for us to see Ms. Maggie Rice. who used to be the mayor. She has appointed her daughter, Anita Rice, for many, many years, and nobody brought up the things. Why? Because Anita has grown up above 18 years old, then she independently can make her own decision. The same thing with every people. When you appoint people, you respect the people who can contribute to the well-being of the city. I was appointed to be planning commissioner 3 years ago, and I have successfully completed my duties. And now I was appointed a traffic commissioner, and I'm glad to help the city with my talent, with my knowledge. So whatever you bring up is hoax, wrong information, or they call disinformation. You try to create confusion among the people of Westminster City. And you are talking about inefficiency or corruption. This is a good time to ask for the ex-mayor, Ms. Rice, because during her term, there was many lawsuits against the city due to some of misconduct or misusing or violating the Brown Act. She is the one who is responsible to answer all of your questions. Okay? So I come here to tell you that don't bring up issue. Let the people here, they work together to make the city grow and thriving to be a good city for all the Westminster city to have a chance to grow together. The more you bring issue, the more the city will be in deep trouble financially. So I would like to ask all of you to keep on working based on democracy, based on the principle of majority. You have the right to be here to make your decision. You have the right to vote. And you too have the right to against the vote no. Then next time, if you have enough capability, run for mayor, replace him. Why not? All of you here, if you are good, you should go and run for the mayor. Go for the other position. Don't make the issue be too critical for the growth of the city. Thank you very much.
Followed by Amy Walsh.
Lan Nguyễn, Chief Lan Nguyễn.
And the chief.
There, yeah, there's one on
Ladies and gentlemen, theo tôi được biết thì các vị nhân cận trong thành phố thì đều lãnh một số tiền nhỏ từng trưng hàng tháng, vì vậy mọi người đều phải có việc làm để sinh sống. Tại sao? Tại sao ông thị trưởng lại chọn cái giờ mà mọi người đang phải đi làm? Vì họ ông thị trưởng không muốn làm ở một công việc khác mà giờ giấc không còn bỏ.
Can we let the translator have an opportunity?
Yeah, I had the những người trong chúng ta cần phải có việc làm để sinh sống 8 tiếng đồng hồ một ngày. Làm sao chúng tôi có thể đáp ứng được giờ giấc theo mệnh lệnh của ông chủ tịch được? Đây có phải là sự cố ý của ông để không ai biết hoặc bạn đi làm mà không thể có mặt được hay không? As far as I know, council members have very little income from this job, so they usually need a real job to survive. Why did the mayor set any time he wished for the meeting? This can tell he has another lucrative job, so he doesn't need to work a time controlling job like us. As for those who need another job to make a living, how can he or she adjust to the mayor's mood? One more thing. Is it the purpose you meant to do? To eliminate the participation of people because most of them don't know or have to be at work. Number two, quý vị là nhân cử, quý vị tình tuyển cho ban tự lực cho Việt Cộng từ Việt Nam qua. Quý vị đưa con cháu vào làm việc cho thành phố. Quý vị không cho phép những người làm việc cho dân được quyền nói lên nguyện vọng của chúng tôi. Quý vị ra những luật là giống y như đảng Cộng sản độc tài, đàn áp, đảng trị và kèm kẹp. Xin hãy cho chúng tôi biết, có phải quý vị đang muốn biến thủ đô tị nạn ở thành phố Westminster thành chủ nghĩa cộng sản hay không?
Đó là tài đố.
Shut up. You guys are our representatives. You just granted a resolution of commendation to a communist member from Vietnam. You guys brought your child into the city to take a job. You guys suppressed the voice of our representatives. You are practicing communist principles. Please tell us if you want to transform this city and Little Saigon to a brutal, inhuman, one-party, communist ruling city. Thank you.
So a lot of what I was going to say has already been shared, or already been said, but I did want to take this time to say that when I watched, I couldn't be here because of babysitting issues. My youngest has severe autism, so I'm basically with him, 24/7. That's my job. And when I watched the last meeting, like I'll echo Carlos. When I first met you, when I was on the school board, I thought, wow, I had heard such great things about you and the fact that you, what you went to college for, and and I just thought, God, this guy's a really good guy. And after things, proceeded and I started hearing and seeing all these other things, I thought, oh boy, this is not good. And I hate to say it, but when one of our council members left at this last election, I thought, okay, Tree, this is the time to shine. You don't have to be under him anymore. You can, this is your show. Because it seemed to me that he always, ran the show before. So I thought, okay, Tree is going to really take this and run with it, and things are going to be great. And, I hate to say it, but I'm sadly disappointed. At this last meeting, when you asked the woman, I think it was the first person to speak, what her address was, I did the most epic face palm. And I just couldn't believe that you would do that, because this is, obviously this one isn't today, but generally the meetings go out live. If we're here at a meeting, that could mean that no one's at home. So you ask for her address, she gives you exact address. Who knows what could happen at her house while she's gone? I mean, when you fill out one of these forms, it does not say, you have to, this is optional. You can put your name, and you can put why you're talking, and that's it, that's what I do. Granted, we do have people that come to the meetings that don't live in this city. However, for the majority of us, we do, and if we're coming to speak on this, we don't have to give you all of our information. I personally wouldn't want to, and have random people show up at my house, which people already have. There was someone that came and spoke out against the three of you, and her backyard was vandalized, and someone broke in and broke her security cameras and that kind of thing. So, is it coincidence? Could be. Probably not, but could be. I'm like so many others, I'm in shock of how this is going down. Back in the day, I voted for you. When you first got on the board, I gave you my endorsement, Kimberly. I trusted you guys, as well as so many other people did, and I think as many people of Westminster that are here today speaking against this, that just goes to show you that, we gave you a shot, and it looks like a lot of people are wanting to reconsider that now. I wanted to take the time also to let people know that Ty Doe was not the first person
to say that Westminster is now becoming the new Ho Chi Minh. We're talking weeks prior to his post, all sorts of people from all sorts of different areas in the community made those comments. He is basically repeating what his constituents are saying. He in no way said that for the first time ever and then everybody started repeating it. No, that was not the case. Also, really quick, before I sit down, I wanted to address this. A gentleman came up earlier saying that the two ladies that were outside holding the banner threatened him. I just wanted to make sure you guys knew that that didn't happen. And our lovely reporter from Fobosa was there, and we have on film the whole time. So just throwing that out there, that I'm sure that he would gladly cooperate if for some odd reason that was against the law. We also did talk to the police officers that were here, and we made sure that we were not violating any laws by holding that sign. 14 seconds, you can go to anyone else who knows music.
Next speaker is Lane Nguyen.
Kính thưa các hội viên, tôi xin được nói tiếng Việt. Tôi là Lan Nguyễn, cư vụ thành phố Santa Ana. Nhưng gia đình tôi, tất cả con cái và bạn bè đều ở thành phố Westminster.
I would like to speak in Vietnamese. I live in the city of Westminster.
Tôi cư ngụ thành phố Santa Ana.
I live in the city of Santa Ana.
Nhưng gia đình, con cái và tất cả bạn bè tôi
However, all of my family, all my friends,
ở thành phố Westminster và những kỳ bầu cử đều có.
I live in the city of Westminster, and every single time it's a voting time, they all went and voted.
Hôm nay tôi bệnh, nhưng mà tôi nghe cái chuyện bất bình, vô lý, cho nên tôi cố gắng đi hôm nay.
Today I am ill. However, when I heard about the issue that quite unfair and unreasonable, I tried to be here today.
Tôi biết ông thị trưởng Tạ Đức Trí đã nhiều năm làm cộng đồng, làm nghị viên, rồi đến thị trưởng tiền nhiệm.
I know that the mayor of Victory, he has been served in the community as a city councilman, as a mayor, and also a former mayor.
Ông rất bình dị, am hiểu dân, không bao giờ thách dịch hay là làm một cái điều gì cho dân cảm thấy rằng ông là người độc tài.
He is very simple. He understands the public, and he never showed that or prove or portray that he is a dictator.
Cho nên nhiệm kỳ này tất cả dân đều tín nhiệm và bầu ông đắc cử lại.
Therefore, at this time, all of us, as a citizen of we have voted him for him to come back and to win the race.
Và cùng với nguyên một cái hội đồng thành phố có nghị viên và tất cả.
And city together with everyone as city council people.
Trong thành phố có 3 nghị viên người Việt.
In the city there are 3 Vietnamese cities.
Riêng ông Đại Đỗ vừa đắc cử thành phố mà không thấy sinh hoạt chung, lại đi sinh hoạt bên thành phố Garden Road.
However, Mr. Tai Do, once he became a city councilman, he never involved or engaged with a meeting with the city of this city, but instead he went to the city of Garden Road.
Với ông nghị viên Phát Bùi và chủ tịch cộng đồng.
Together with the councilman Phát Bùi and the president of the community,
đã bị nhân dân ở đây phê phán rằng ông đã thân cộng và sinh hoạt với cộng sản.
Therefore, he is being judged by the citizen here that he is pro-communist.
Mới đây, không hiểu vì lý do gì, Tài Đỗ lại nói đổi tên thành phố Westminster sẽ là thành phố Hồ Chí Minh.
Recently, we're not sure what the reason behind this, but Mr. Taido has said that the city of Westminster's name will be changed into the Ho Chi Minh City, the name.
Chúng tôi là người Việt quốc gia đã từ chạy bỏ cộng sản muôn vàn khó khăn, chết sông, chết biển, chết rừng, mất tất cả tài sản gia đình để được đến đây nước Mỹ.
We are the Vietnamese nationals. We have lost everything. We risked our life. We lost all our property. Families and people have coped with death in order to be here, to be free, and to run away from the communists.
Trước khi vào nước Mỹ dung thân, chúng tôi nhớ rằng mọi người đều phải tuyên thệ không theo chế độ cộng sản.
Before we arrived, before we came into this soil, the U.S. soil, I remember that we had to vow to say that we were never being pro-communist.
Bây giờ Tài Đỗ lại tuyên bố thành phố Việt Nam lại trở thành thành phố Hồ Chí Minh, cái tên mà người Việt rất là đau khổ khi nghe đến tội đồ cộng sản.
But it is now, when Mr. Taido announced that the city become a Ho Chi Minh city, it hurts, it is unacceptable for the people who accept this is the criminal, the communist criminal.
Đó là khi người Việt quốc gia nghe đến tên này đều run rợn vì đó là một cái tên đã phản bội dân tộc và là tội đồ.
Anytime the Vietnamese nationals heard of this name, we know that this is a traitor. This is a person who has betrayed all of our people, and he's a criminal.
Bữa nay sở dĩ không có đông người Việt Nam đến vì chúng tôi qua đây rất là nghèo, phải lo làm lại tất cả để mà sinh sống, nuôi biết bao nhiêu con thành công dân hữu ích.
The reason that there are not many Vietnamese attendants today at this meeting because we are very poor. We came here, we work very hard, and we have to try to work and support our family and raise our children to become successful in this country.
Cho nên hôm nay vì tất cả tôi nghĩ rằng trong cái giờ làm việc thành ra ít người Việt đến đây để mà nói lên những cái tiếng nói bất mãn về cái chuyện mà đổi tên thành phố như thế này.
That's what I'm thinking. The reason not many of us are being here to portray or to express or express our displeasure or disagree with the name of our city being changed into a new name.
Tôi thấy các vị ngoại quốc ở đây chắc có lẽ vì rảnh thời giờ hơn chúng tôi, cho nên đi đến dự và chỉ nói một chiều, không nghe được hai chiều, không nghe được những cái tội ác của cộng sản mà đã làm.
We have seen a lot of non-Vietnamese attendants here today, and they have expressed their thoughts and their beliefs. I think that they don't understand. They only say a one-sided opinion. They don't understand the life and the feeling of people who actually live in the communist world.
Và đã khơi lại niềm đau khổ của những người Việt quốc gia của chúng tôi.
They have provoked and brought back a lot of pain for the people like us, like me, that we have lived. We are the Vietnamese nationals. We have gone through a lot of pain.
Tôi mong rằng không có cộng sản vào thành phố này.
I am hoping that there's no communism in the city.
Và riêng với ông Tài Đỗ, tôi cũng xin nói rằng ông là một người ủy viên được dân bầu cử lên tại thành phố Westminster.
And for Mr. Taido, I would like to tell you that we are the councilmen who being voted by the citizens of Westminster City.
Tại sao chúng tôi vẫn theo dõi các thành viên kia, người ta làm việc đắc lực, riêng ông không làm việc tại Westminster, mà những lần hội họp đều ông hội họp bên Garden Road.
We're watching you and we're seeing that every time a meeting happening in our city, you are not here, but you always come and attend the city of Garden Road.
Đó, và tôi xin lần cuối cùng ông trả lời vì sao ông nói trên Facebook và trên đài ông bảo rằng ông đổi tên thành phố Westminster là thành phố Hồ Chí Minh, và cái hành động đó là hành động cổng rắn cắn gà nhà.
Finally, I would demand your answer, explaining to me why on the social media and Facebook you announced that our city name will be changed into Ho Chi Minh City. That action is the action of somebody who would bring a snake to come home and eat our chicken, literally translated.
Tôi mong rằng cái tiếng nói hôm nay của tôi là tiếng nói của người Việt quốc gia và đã từng chịu đau khổ với chế độ cộng
I
sản.
believe that today my voice represents for the rest of any Vietnamese nationals who has suffered under the communist regime.
Và mong rằng ông Tài Đỗ sẽ trả lời những hành vi ông đã làm.
I'm hoping that Mr. Taido must explain to his actions that he's been conducting in the past to this point.
Kính chào và kính cảm ơn quý vị đã nghe những lời.
Sincerely thank you all of you that listen to what I'm saying.
Next speaker is Nguyen Kin Doan, followed by Margie Rice.
Thank you so much. Thank you everybody for allowing me to be at the press today. Thank you City Manager and Pro.
Can you speak to the mic?
Yes. Can you hear me now? All right, thank you very much everybody. Thank you City Manager Manfro, Assistant City Manager, Mayor Tita, Vice Mayor, or Council Member Nguyen, and last but not least, Council Member Do, and all of you. Okay. My name is Nguyen Kinh Doan, and I'm from Los Angeles. The reason I'm here was that this morning I got YouTube from Vuan Lan here, and there was a 25 minutes, 6 seconds of the YouTube concerning Tài Đỗ, and what he said on there is I said in Vietnamese, and I will translate it into English, the title of the YouTube. Bất mãn vì nhóm đa số biệt nghị viên Tài Đỗ gọi Westminster là thành phố Hồ Chí Minh. Disappointed because the majority cover his mouth. Council member Tài Đỗ called Westminster is Ho Chi Minh City. Okay. First of all, when I came here today, I saw the big sign, and it was a fallacy and very dishonest sign, because there was the picture of Mayor Tạ Đức Trí cover the mouth Tài Đỗ. It's not true at all. The reason I say it's not true is that I looked at the YouTube. You talk for 25 minutes, 6 seconds, okay? And they didn't tell you to shut up. I'm sorry about my language, but you talk. What I said in the email I sent to everybody is you talk repetitive, unwise, inappropriate, and self-serving. I was interviewed by David Võ, owner of Vietnamese magazine, and he's the owner of Vietnamese television. I talked very clearly about you, and also Buổi, you destroy the community. I said that. I am responsible for what I said because I'm very, very angry, okay? You do not have a city at all. You come in, you think you're a big shot, okay? You treating the gentleman back here. He came here and said that you said that you will go after him. You go after me. That's okay. I am to fight. I think you are not wise, okay? And you are not mature enough to be in the city. And the reason I'm here is that I had an interview with David Võ. I talked very clearly about your very inappropriate attitude to the city and to the people. Today, I'm talking to you and all the people. I'm sorry to my
Ông Nguyễn
voice
Kinh Doanh
is
đang nói
my nature.
về Tài Đỗ và ông rất là giận dữ thưa với quý vị.
I am talking to
Tại
you
vì
today
là
from
những người mà ủng hộ ông Tài Độ nói là nghị viên Tạ Đức Chí, thị trưởng Tạ Đức Chí không có cho ông Tài Độ nói, nhưng mà thật sự ra ông Tài Độ đã nói rất là nhiều trong những cái buổi họp ở hội đồng thành phố.
And some of the audience here came up and said that's a joke. You have freedom of speech. You are right when you do like that. It's not a joke. And in this country, yes, you have the freedom of speech, but you don't have the freedom to threaten people, to beat people up. You could get locked up in jail for that. I say that. Many people around the world support me because I am a position to help people. I have an email system that has hundreds of thousands of email addresses, and whatever you do wrong, everybody in the world will know that. People around the world, many and most of the people support me. From the ranking military people, legislative, administrative, judicial department around the world, the news media, and my associate, because I am here today to tell you that please do not try to tamper with the good things the city do. I am with this one, and thank you so much. Thank you very much, everybody.
Next speaker is Margie Rice, followed by Dr. Long Pham.
Thank you very much, Mayor. I'm sorry.
No, I'm not mayor.
I'm fine. I'm all right.
Well, I can hardly speak. I really listened to a lot of discussions, pro and con. And I have to tell you, Mayor, I supported you fully. You know I did. For 6 years, you were one of the best council members I had to work with me when I was mayor. But you did change. When Tyler Dick came along, that kind of attitudes changed. I no longer support you. I'm very sorry. But I don't.
Bà cựu thị trưởng Maggie Rice đã nói là bà từng support ông thị trưởng Tạ Đức Chí trong vòng 6 năm vừa qua, nhưng mà bây giờ bà không có support ông Tạ Đức Chí nữa.
I expect you to change your vote and to give transparency to this council. You had a right to appoint whoever you please, and you were right in that area. I did appoint my daughter, and I did it transparent, right here on the council, and the council voted for it. I did not do it sneaky, and I don't think you intended to be sneaky. I think you just did it, and you didn't make it public. And that goes for you, Kimberly. I did not vote for you. I will never vote for you. And I think you say one thing and you do another. You followed Tyler Dick fully. You did not make a decision until Tyler Dick voted, so you would know how to vote. I feel very strongly, you do not belong on this council. You do not represent the people of Westminster. In my opinion, I will never vote for you, ever. I didn't vote for you, Tyler, Mr. Devin, but I will in the future. You have tried to bring out the same thing I tried when I tried to get a consultant to come here to teach the council how to serve the people. And I think you made that remark, actually sarcastically, to say, if this continues, we will be called that. I think that's what you meant. I hope that's what you meant. I'm appalled at what's happening to our city. I was not always a good mayor either. I made mistakes. But when I knew I was wrong, I was quick to back it up and say I was wrong. And I hope you do
do the same thing, Mayor, because I've always been there for you in the past. And I'm very, very appalled at the three of you. I am very upset of what you're doing to our city. I have been a citizen here for 62 years, and I intend to continue to fight for the freedoms of my city, and you will not control us.
Next speaker is Dr. Long Pham, followed by Kai Dao.
Good afternoon, Mr. Mayor and City Council. My name is Long Pham. I'm a resident of Holland Valley. And I'm here this afternoon. It's not to say I am agree or oppose with anyone that you guys are saying. I'm here as a former elected official of Orange County. I'm here to remind you that the price for becoming elected official, one of the price to become an elected official is that you have to be able to stand up, not being a child, being a real person. You take hit from the people, especially from the opposition. So what happening today doesn't sound like you guys are standing up to that. You know, we all will make mistakes. We are human beings. We make mistakes all the time. I did. I'm sure you guys did. So if you feel that you make a mistake, I would like to see that you are standing up and correct that rather than just trying to shut up people, because that is not going to work. That is not the attitude of an elected official. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, everybody. Sorry, but I have to repeat what I tried to say last week because I didn't have time. I'd like to apologize to all the residents of the city of Westminster. Like it or not, the Vietnamese population is now the majority group in Westminster. I've heard from many people from last meeting to now that the city council has been a farce, a disappointment, showing itself as dysfunctional, unprofessional, unconstitutional, and dictatorial. Last week, I said I think it is still a learning process because we're new, and I was hoping things would improve, that you guys would get better. But regrettably, it seems like you guys still refuse to see the light and refuse to face the truth, owning up to your mistake. And more than just mere self-denial, you guys are deploying your cronies and hired guns to spread lies, to spin the truth, distort facts, and spread rumors, attacking whoever dares to criticize you as a campaign to intimidate, to prevent Westminster residents to have a chance to see and hear the facts, to decide for themselves what is right and what is wrong. You might I don't think you guys represent me. I'm ashamed to have voted for you. And I think many people, many Vietnamese voters in Westminster are starting to feel the same. That's why, again, I'd like to apologize to all other groups in Westminster for what's happening in the city council in the past few months, that you guys might think that, you know, we are ignoring the well-being of the city. We're not focusing on the city matters, and we're just here to bicker, to fight among ourselves. But I guess it's something that has to be done. And when you guys pass the law to give you, Mayor Chita, total power, and trying to suppress your opposition in the city council last week, I think you guys have broke the camel's back. You guys might think I'm boasting, but my prediction and conclusion is that you guys will be replaced by recall very soon. Unless, like former Mayor Machirai said, you guys truly repent and show all of us that you guys will turn around and start doing the right thing from today onward. Thank you very much.
Last two speakers are Gerald Kern, followed by Dewey Nguyen.
Tough crowd, huh? Look, there's a lot of passion in this room, okay? There's people on both sides, and I think there's more than enough blame to go around here. I want to suggest a solution, especially to you, Mayor Todd. I know you and I sat down one time, had coffee in my house, talked about business needs. I'm a business owner here in Westminster. Hit the pause button. You really need to hit the pause button. And if the five of you want to solve this problem, what needs to happen is you need to put out a joint statement, okay? Clearly, this direction that we're going with trying to coalesce power into one group, it isn't fitting, okay? We're looking at the city here, we're looking at the people. The room is divided, okay? It's not going to get better, it's going to get worse. I think that there are people that I've heard, that I speak to, who have never really come out and had the strong passions that they have now come out and spoken pretty hard. And the three of you really need to listen to what's being said out here, because you are in danger of losing your jobs, maybe before the next election. Mr. Dunn, I do want to say this to you. Don't use the C word, okay? That word in this community is really offensive to a lot of people, okay? I understand the context in which you meant it. I don't think that you meant it to have happened what happened and the divisiveness that it caused in the community, but it clearly has. So let's maybe take a look at our language, be a little more careful before we put those things out next time. But I do think what we need to do here is we need to hit the pause button, okay? And that shows unity amongst the council. We really go a long way to the community. So, thank you.
Hi guys, how are ya? Here we go again. Am I once in first, council member Dido, I do agree with you. We live in America. We live in a country with laws and order. You have the right to speak your mind. You have the right to say what you like to say. But the one thing I disagree with you is this. You cannot change the name of the city without the consent of the rest of the council members. But you making that change, I do understand it's a logical move for you to do it. Because why? Your mother, your godmother, Janet, when she had representative from the embassy, she removed the South Vietnam flag from her house so she cannot offend those individuals. And your godfather, Fat Boy, he does business in Vietnam with a communist official. So I think that's a logical move what you're doing right now by changing your name singularly by yourself, which is what does communists do. They do things by themselves without consent of the people, or in this case, the city itself. So it's cool. It's all good, dude. You do a good job following the step of your godfather and your godmother. For you and your supporters, What they've been doing the last several meetings is attacking media, abusing, verbally and physically. That's how communist followers do. They intimidate, and that's what your followers been doing for the last several meetings. So, good job. You accusing others, but that's what you are. You're a communist in training. Thirdly, I rest my case. I rest my case. That's all I'm trying to do. But what you're trying to do right now, the worst part is this: you divide the city, the Vietnamese community, and most Caucasian community. That's what you're trying to do. It's supposed to divide. Should I continue, guys? Too bad. I'm continuing.
Please, let's let the speaker speak. He's entitled to speak.
Thank you. For you never live in a communist government, so you don't know what the hell you're talking about, dude. I've lived my life there with my family, so I know how it's like. You're not a border. You're not a victim here. You're an aggressor. 6 months in the city council, that's what you've been doing. You're aggressive. You're being very active attacking these members. Instead of fixing the city's situations and the problems that they're having right now, you don't. You start trouble, creating issues after issues. Why? To divide the city so you can have control of it, or using the pressure of the community trying to get your way. That's all good. That's what communist does, and that's what you're doing right now. And you take very good orders from your stepmother, Janet Wayne, and also your buddy, and your godfather, that boy, who has no responsibility whatsoever of his city, but concerned about other cities. And also, regarding appointments, guess what? There are no such thing as a sneaky appointments. All appointments are transparent, okay? And excuse me for my appearance. I was fixing my place so I can prepare to move to Westminster so I can recall you down so I can take over your position. And because the council member, the council position, also the mayor position, is not a lifetime position. Okay, exactly. Neither is mayor, it's not a lifetime position. You serve as the will of the people. The people can really recall you anytime they want to. So, just an FYI, prepare for this November, buddy. Thanks.
Last speaker is Mark Lawrence.
I don't know where to start. Mark Lawrence, City of Westminster, 48 years since I was 5 years old. You all heard that before. Mr. Mayor, I apologize to all the council members, Councilmember Doe, Vice Mayor Ho. I mean, where have we descended into madness, folks? Here's the book. Robert's Rules of Order and Procedures. Yes. Okay, and if we got to get up here and we got to throw gauntlets down in a town I love so much, it's just simply wrong. It's wrong. We all care about our community. We care about the Vietnamese community. I saw at age 8 years old from my living room. We just had the 44th anniversary of that terrible day. And to see this descending into such madness, very sad. Our former mayor over here, sitting over here, Frank Sinatra once said, you make a mistake, own up to it. The bigger the man, the bigger the mistake. Move on. We've all made mistakes. Believe me, I've made some doozies. And I wasn't going to speak today, I was just coming here to observe. I've said enough in the past, and nothing's been done. But this is painful. This is really painful to the residents that have lived here a long time. I have a relationship with a lot of you. I have your cell phone numbers. I could call you anytime. Mr. Mayor, we've met quite a few times. And just like Councilmember Contreras, who's not here today, unfortunately, we've disagreed wholeheartedly on positions, but I've never acted disagreeable. Now, can I get awfully whipped up? Oh, yes. Just like our former mayor. But when it comes to respect, what is wrong with us? What is wrong with us? And when somebody gets up here again and tries to divide this community right down racial lines and specifically picks out certain council members, call it what it is, a hatchet job. And that doesn't go anywhere. There is no upside to an argument. It only entrenches those people into their positions. Now, I hope we all learn from this. I hope we all learn from this, because there's quite a few people that are coming in and voicing their opinions for the first time. I've been coming here for how many years, Mr. Mayor? You can ask one, Mayor Rice. Okay, and I don't like what I'm seeing, so please, for the sake of our community, for the sake of us that hold this city so dear, let's raise our children here. I'm in my 50s now. And this is completely unacceptable to us. So please, Mr. Mayor, please, council members, okay, please understand, this is not good. This is not good. Okay, we love our town. All my neighbors weren't Vietnamese. Now they are. And I get along great with them. We have great discussions. So please remember, okay, that where we stand in this, we're all in this together. You might disagree, just don't act disagreeable. Thank you so much.
Do you have any more speakers?
I have no further speakers.
So thank you so much. Now I'd like to close oral communication. First, I'd like to thank everyone for being here, for your dedication to raise your concerns, to tell us what you stand for, even supporting us or against us. I think that is modesty. And I really, at the bottom of my heart, I really appreciate each of you for telling us your feelings about the community, about our action, about our statement. And the reason why I call this meeting, because in the last several days, I received a lot of calls regarding some of the comment and statement from council members on social media said that Westminster officially now Ho Chi Minh City. A lot of people calling me, asking me, is that officially statement from the city of Westminster? That is the reason that I called a meeting to give everyone, all of us, an opportunity to explain. Because of the Brown Act, so we're not able to talk to other council member or make any other statement. I want to bring everyone together. And I never mentioned that I intend to have any sentiment to anyone, comment or statement. I'm still the fair person, regardless you agree or disagree with whatever I did, whatever I said in the meeting. We all here respect our freedom of speech. I totally understand that. I never mentioned that I want to silence anyone, any minority. I believe in U.S. Constitution. I came here for freedom. However, for a statement like Westminster officially now, Ho Chi Minh City, we have to respect a lot of people. They came here for freedom, so they had a really difficult feeling when they heard that. Even that the person who set up on Facebook may not have an intention in it. However, you have to pause a little bit. Stop that. Oh wow, this is officially now Ho Chi Minh City. That is why I called a meeting. So all of us have an opportunity to discuss. Maybe after the meeting we understand more. That's my intention. I never come up with any solution that, okay, I want to censor that council member, the other council member. No, that is not my intention. And I really appreciate that a lot of you come here. You want to see that the city council, the one that you elected, would be able to work together. I think that's, you all want to see it. Each of us does have our own supporting base. And I'm really not happy to see that different group of people come here to point finger at other council member, that person, this person. It won't help the city at the end of the day. You have to agree with me. At the end of the day, I want to work together. I want the city council to work together. And not another council member been calling me name over the Facebook. That's okay. That's freedom of speech. But when something about the city, Westminster officially now Ho Chi Minh City, what would you think?
You're projecting that, though. You can't do your job. There is no reason for us to
Please be back. I totally respect when you came to speak, right? So I ask for your respect. So that's the reason why I scheduled a meeting. So I want to hear input, concerns from the president of this direct city. And I want to provide opportunity for all the members of the city council. Be more than welcome to explain, clarify what I stand for. Because I believe that I am anti-communist. I've been in this committee for long, and I had a great opportunity to work with former Mayor Marcia Rice, the council member. In the past, we disagree with each other. But I think that we still have respect to each other. I never mentioned that I want to censor anyone, and for the past 13 years, I never did. So, and I hope that after the meeting today, hey, we understand each other more, and we come up with something that we could ensure that the community would be able to work with us, because I'm here for the community. So I'm here to listen to each of you seriously. All right. So now for time for member city council more than to discuss about an item discussion regarding divisive and damaging common and social media posts made by members of the city council regarding the city. So I don't have anything on my screen. May I have okay, so who would you like to speak first? I don't know. Okay.
If I may, I have to take time off work to be here for this special meeting. If you really want to hear the public, come from the public to turn on your comments on Facebook. And a lot of people was upset because they could not make comment on your Facebook. If that's what you really want to hear. Why do we have a meeting at 1 o'clock in the afternoon where everybody has to and then the 1 o'clock is a school hour, the parents have to go pick up their kids. Yeah, at the end of the day, it's still, you were talking about Brown Act's violation. When the resident call you, did you tell them the truth, the reason why that I made that comment during the city council meeting last week. Because you launch yourself to a dictatorship position where you are, as mayor, it's a ceremonial position. You have one vote on the city council. Your job is conduct business on the city behalf, and then conduct business running the city council. You cannot independently make decisions on the city behalf. You have one vote just like me. And suddenly, you launch yourself into the position where you can put anything on the city item on the agenda without anybody else's approval. Everyone else, council member, become a peon. We have to beg for support from the majority of the city council, which is unheard of. I mean, this city that, because of streamlining the business, they have 7, 9, 11 council members on the city council. So they can have another city council support an item in order to put them on the agenda, which is fine. I totally understand that. But requiring a majority of the city council in order for a elected official to speak is a dictatorship. It's unheard of. You want to change this? Get rid of that item. Vote. Put it back on the agenda and vote no. Take it out. That action, and you are trying to tell everyone in the city that you want to bring people together? No, but you want to silence opposition. It doesn't take a genius to figure it out. How can we work together when the minority have no chance to speak? I got elected by the people, just like you. I'm their voice. And now I have to run my idea through two other city council member in order to put something on the agenda. That's a dictatorship. What kind of government do that? What kind of government do that right now? This is the United States of America. The last time I checked, Westminster still belonged to the state of California, which belongs to the United States of America, when we have what we call U.S. Constitution. 23 years ago, when I raised my right hand and took the oath of office, to become a police officer, I sworn to protect and defend the Constitution of the United States of America and the Constitution of the state of California.
Chúng tôi sẽ dừng cái buổi tường thuật ngay đến bữa nay. Xin quý vị qua bên Facebook của ông Ngô Kỵ để tiếp tục theo dõi, hoặc là Facebook của ông Vũ Hoàng Lân, phố Bonsai TV. Xin kính chào quý vị.
Right? There's a lot of things.